Okay, so this is an NCR 14, made in Japan in the early 70s, I'm guessing. And I think it's made by a company called Busicom, who made their own mechanical calculators and calculators, electronic calculators as well. But I know that they had an agreement with NCR at one stage, so I'm assuming it's Busicom made them for NCR. Now this is a UK machine, so normally on these machines there was a 9-digit entry, I believe, and they didn't have halves on them, it was just whole numbers. But this has got an 8-digit entry plus facility for half, so that dates it really to the early 70s, just after decimalisation, I would guess, in the UK, which was February 71. So we still had half P's then. Okay, so this, in terms of features, it has normal sort of addition, multiplication, which is by repeated addition, a subtraction button. Then we have a hash key, which enables you to put in an identifier, so you can put a label on something, or an ID number, invoice number, that sort of thing, in the calculation, which doesn't affect the total that you're coming up with. And then we've got a subtotal button, which produces the total but doesn't clear the registers, so you can keep on adding or subtracting, and then a total button, which clears all the registers. It's also got a clear button, so if I put an entry in, I can just clear it manually. And this particular machine's got optional features, which are a counter here, which is a 4-digit counter, which tells you how many additions or subtractions you've made, number of additions you've made since you last cleared it, which would be useful if you have a long list of numbers that you needed to add up, so that immediately you knew how many you had added up without having to count things that you'd printed out. It's also got a slip insert feature, so that you could put in a wage slip, or perhaps a customer invoice or something, and actually then type the numbers onto this, okay, or put your total onto that. It's also got a really couple of features that make it really easy to use, really, which is just a simple big metal bar holding the paper roll on, which might seem a little clunky, but it's magnetically held in place, and it just makes it really easy to change paper roll. It's really good. And there's a catch at the back, which is just a spring catch, which then enables me to, if I can do it from here, oh, I've got the plug in, that's why it's not going, to then just lift off the case. Okay, I won't lift it all off, I've left the paper on stupidly. There's the spring catch. Let's put the plug back in. Tidy the roll up a little bit. Okay, so there's the machine. So just seeing the machine in action now, let's just do a simple addition on this. So £4.56, say, I don't know, £3.67. Let's get a subtotal on that. So it gives us the answer, £8.23. And then just total that and just make sure the register's clear. There we go, it's all clear, which is good practice on these machines, just to make sure that everything's cleared. And there we've got our answer printed out. We can tear that off, throw it away, whatever we want to do with that. Now to multiply, we can, let's say we're going to do £1.23 times 23. £1.23. I'm going to put down the multiplication button, which you sort of push it forward to lock it in place, and then I'm going to add 3 times. I'm going to add a 0 on, and then that's another 10 times, and I'm going to remove the the times button at this stage for adding my final one, because this particular machine, if you have numbers typed down here, it won't allow you to press down the total buttons. So the key must be cleared in order for you to come up with your totals. There we go. Okay, so we get 23 times £1.23 is £28.29. Okay, and subtractions will work as well. So £8.96 maybe. Let's add that in and then subtract. I don't know, £2.57. And it shows the subtractions in red. And then we get our totals. Easy peasy. Okay, and you can see if I just move my camera, you can see that our counter's gone up to 8 to tell us that we've done 8 additions since we last cleared the counter. Okay, so let's just show you the slip insert feature working. So now, I don't know, whatever we want to do. A few additions on this. Okay, and get our subtotal. And we could just then insert this. I'm just going to make sure it's in nicely. And put our total in. And then we've got our total on our insert. That's all it is. Okay, let's make sure that's clear. All clear. Tear off our page and we're done. Okay, so let's just show you inside the machine as well. So I've taken the plug out now and I'm just going to turn this around. I'm going to remove the paper from the inside bit here. Just lift out the magnetic paper holder. Put the bar back in there so that I know where it is. It doesn't roll around. Put the paper to one side. And there's just now one clip. I'll turn it around so you can see it. This one clip here, which is just a spring. Lift off the case. And there's our mechanism. So we've got our keypad at the front, obviously, our ink ribbons here. Our key insert counter here. And our mechanism at the side. That's quite typical for one of these machines. And there we have it. To put the case back on, it's quite straightforward. There's a bit here which we just need to make sure we get into the right section here of the case. So just going to put that in and then get this spring bit back inside. Just push that back in here, this spring bit, so that we can then lock the case back into place. Loading paper is really straightforward. Magnetic holder. Through the paper, put the paper in. Make sure the paper's in the right way so that it curves, going to be curving around the roller. Lift up the tear off bar, and there we have it, all ready to go as soon as I plug it in.